So here's something that I see in Paul Skenes that to me as a programmer would start to put up a red flag. Okay.
Interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Let's hear it.
I don't remember where I was coming back from, but I remember getting a text message from you and I was getting ready to board an airplane and you were like, hey, there's this concept of durability, blah, blah, blah. And so you send me a podcast and I listen to the podcast when I'm on the plane and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, listen. This is a legit thing. And then that's how we came up with the concept. They were using it in athletic events or endurance events. And then
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
we were like, listen, this is a
Just
ner
just just to interrupt you, we I believe we had that like way back at the start of Absolute. I think we put that podcast episode as a resource guide.
okay, yeah, we probably did. Because then
Yeah.
so then I remember thinking when I was on the plane, I'm like, dude, this is a trainable thing.
Hmm.
Right? Right. And and then obviously the concept of the neural net comes out. And then it's like, okay, hey, these are all programmable things. Right. So, so like neurological durability, I'll probably butcher it to a degree, but it's basically like, as multi-complex fatigue factors start to set in, the nervous system still outputs.
Hmm.
Right. An easy thing that we say with linemen is they don't shit the bed when it matters. Right?
Perfect.
Like you're able, like it's the fourth quarter, the nervous system is still outputting, right? That's durability because now you're maybe dehydrated. Maybe, you guys are losing the game. Maybe there's all these psychological, physiological factors that should start to dampen output, but the nervous system still outputs, right? That's durability. Okay.
Hmm.
I don't know if you watched the video, but earlier this season, Paul Skenes on his 98th pitch throws 102.
Hmm.
Okay, I don't know if they're winning or losing the game. I don't know what's going on. But
Probably
that's
losing. It's Pittsburgh.
that's brutal. That's brutal. You're brutal. So listen. So 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 what I see is like, okay, so to me, I'm like thinking, whoa, this dude's got some neurological durability, meaning
Hmm.
this guy's CNS is going to output.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Scenarios like this, how I start to think about it is, oh, we're full gas and we probably don't have brakes, so we better build the brakes while we're hitting the
Hmm.
gas.
Hmm.
Right? Like I
Hmm.
start to go, oh shit, like, and I've seen this a lot at West Side Barbell, right? I like
Sure.
I always joke around, I'll get general population people that come into the clinic. I'll tell you this one story real specifically, right? Thanks to you, my assessment skills, they're not your level, but they're significantly better so that I know what I'm doing. So, guy
Hmm.
comes to the clinic, hey, I have this very specific pain right here, right? And so I'm able to do local FRA, assess, hey, there's no issue with joint space. When I take it into pronation, supination, I get a nice capsular stretch. There's enough range, there's no limitation. Yeah, it's like right here. Okay, so I kind of rule out nothing in joint function, right? And then I go, okay, so then I start to do like tissue tension testing. And I'm like, you know what? Like all of this tissue has normal length to tension ratios,
Hmm.
right? So I'm like, this isn't like, because everybody's like,
It's not
listen,
adding up.
yeah, they're like, listen, just rub this thing, right? And you're like, listen, like,
Yeah.
unfortunately, right? So it's true, right? But okay, so long story short, I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, well, maybe this is like a low grade reactive strength injury, right? And so I start asking him, like, hey, did you do anything with this arm, like excessive loading? And he's like, now that you say it, I was having a hard time carrying this like jug of milk, right? And I'm sitting
Hmm.
there thinking, like, dude, maybe this guy is so deconditioned that the jug of milk just made his tissue sore,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? So
Hmm.
just doing like light ice, and oh, that's it, right? And so you're like, and so I tell him, I go, listen, man, like, you should probably think about doing some resistance training. I say it in a more colorful way. But anyway, so the point that I'm trying to make, the probability of this guy injuring himself is zero. Like he can't, you see what I'm saying? But when you go to some place like Westside Barbell and you start to see these outputs, you're like, listen, These guys can for sure injure themselves just by the nervous system outputting, right? And
Hmm.
and so we
Hmm.
see, okay, absolute strength is clearly there. The network can go up to 102. Speed strength is clearly there. So he's converting the network to output at the speeds. Durability is also there. Okay, well now when we did that whole thing on UCLs and Major League Baseball and tissue senescence and how we think that there's an element where these high level pitchers are getting selected because their tissue turnover is so much faster at a younger age to let them output, and that they're essentially the elbow is like 30 instead of 20, let's say, right? This is I know
Yeah.
it's like okay, so
Yeah. Yeah.
so
No. Yeah. Hmm.
so I start to see this because I know, man, like listen, there was an athlete that I worked with for